Right, so after days of trying to figure out this board, this is the Orange Pi PC, which is, I talked about it in the last video, but I'll go through it again. It's an H3 all-winner Cortex-A7 quad-core CPU sort of mini PC. It's got 1 gig of RAM on board, and it can accept up to 64 gig SD cards, these micro SD cards. They go on the bottom of the board there. And it's got HDMI out, it's got a 3.5mm jack, which also gives you the composite video out. Is it composite video? Is that how you say it? Anyway, you can get these AV cables. I've probably got some somewhere here. I can't see them at the moment. You've got some USB ports. You've got 3, in fact, and you've also got a USB on the go, which is just over here. Now, on a Raspberry Pi, that would be used to power it. And you've got the 40-pin GPIO. What we're going to do now, though, after I spent so much time getting it to work, it does work on the, where is it? This one here, which is it does work with Armbian, which is a really nice little image, but we're going to try it out with a couple of other images. Now, this one should be an Android image, so I'll just pop that in there, and then we'll see how it goes. So it can support Android and Linux, and I thought it would be interesting to try out Android, even though I'm not planning to use it for Android. I'm planning just to use it for Linux-based things. So it's going to be an audio streaming thing. Actually, this might be Raspbian. I think I've got my cards mixed up. So they give you a Raspbian image. This is the really interesting thing, that the login is Orange Pi. Maybe this isn't the Raspbian image. I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay. No. So this is the first time I've logged into this. It doesn't seem to want to load into this one. Let's see. Let's try a different environment. There we go. So this is Raspbian. No, it's not. It is Raspbian, actually. So it's just running a different window environment, I think. So I think we can probably check. We've got Scratch going on here. So this is the image that they provide on their website on orangepi.org. So this is the Raspbian environment, I believe. So I wanted to play around with the Raspbian environment because I'm used to it with the Raspberry Pi, and it's really easy to get tutorials online that show you how to do things. And it's easier when you're looking at those and using the same screens and things that you're looking at on tutorials. Now, largely the stuff that you're going to be looking at, the Python stuff that you're going to look at, will work on any other Linux or Windows environment most of the time. Maybe not all of the different packages and things that you'll need to use, but certainly the way the code is written will work. But when you're looking at it on the same screen that other people are showing it to you on, it's so much easier to follow along. And I'm certainly not an expert on Linux. Luckily, this screen is holding up really well. I had a bit of trouble with the screen on Raspberry Pi, but it was just not scaling correctly. So it thought it had a larger display plugged in when I first did it before, and so the display was stretching off the boundaries of the screen. But this one seems to be coping quite well. I'm not sure whether it's the driver board that scales the incoming signal to the actual resolution, which is something like 1280 by 600 or 1280 by 640. I think it's 600. But yeah, it's working really well. It has done with all the images I've tried as well, which is quite nice. There was a bit of a problem when it was on the command line, but it actually looks pretty good. So this is the Raspbian image that they've got there. So let's just log out of this, and then let's just cancel. Oh no, there's a power button up here, and then we'll throw it onto the other one. Okay, it won't let me escape. Right, well, we're gonna just be naughty and just power it off. I shouldn't really do that, but it's gone now, so it's done. And this last one here on the little green card should be our Android image. And I thought this was really interesting. I sort of cut the video short before because they'd gone on so long. So we'll just power this up. It had already gone on for like 10-15 minutes, and I'll probably cut that down, but this will be the Android image, and I wanted to try it out just so you can see what it would look like. Now it's probably going through a booting process where it's expanding its file system on the SD card or extracting some components. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll give it a couple of minutes and see what happens. Right, here we go. Something is happening. There's a green light on the board, and we've got Allwinner Tech H3 quad-core logo that's appeared. And the light's changing on the board again. I'm not sure whether that means it's accessing the SD card or not. I can't find any information as to what those LEDs really mean. But we'll give it a little while and see what happens. Okay, so we've now booted it into an Android operating system. It's all in Chinese, it appears. Right, my mouse is plugged in. I'm not sure if I have a cursor, and I can use the keypad to move around. And can I use enter, or is it space? Okay, let's see if we can change the language on here. Could it be that? It's not space, it's not enter. Let's just try some other things. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out the Wi-Fi and put the mouse into the other USB port, just in case not all the USB ports are enabled. There we go, now I've got a cursor. So it seems like on this image, the Phi USB isn't enabled. Thing is, with these USBs, it's actually connected to a bus. So it should have its own USB bus chip on here. Let's see if it's actually on the bottom or not. I can't see it. It could be that these actually share a single USB 2 line, and so they're all connected together and it's got its bus chip. So I don't know whether that necessarily means that they all share the same bandwidth or not, but it certainly, in this case, it doesn't accept the third one. So let's go to settings and we'll see if we can change the language. It should. That looks probably like language. It's got an A there. Oh, there we go, brilliant. So we want English, United Kingdom. There we go. And how do we get out of here? Backspace, arrow keys. I do not know. I'm using the mouse pointer to discover the boundaries of the screen, but it does all appear to be working. I just don't know how to get... it's the right click. So you've got left and right click. So right click will take you out of menus. So camera, web. Let's have a look at, actually we've not got the wireless plugged in, but isn't it interesting that you can get Android running on one of these things? It's quite cool, really. If I had any kind of Ethernet near, I would plug it in, but I don't. So there's very little we can do with an Android image without the internet. So there's our operating system folders, and that's all on the SD card. So in order to create an Android image for this, you need to download one of the packages, the OS images from the Orange Pi website. But you can't burn it in a normal way like you do with a Linux image using like Win32 disk imaging or something like that. You would use something called Phoenix Card, and that enables you to format your SD card. It creates it in the right format for an Android device, and then you burn the image using the Phoenix Card program. And you can get all of that on the Orange Pi website. If you go under resources, you'll be able to see an Android image, click on it, and then it gives you the instructions on how to do it. It's really interesting. We've got Kodi as well on here, which is Now that is an interesting concept, to have Android and Kodi. Now this would be better if I'd enabled the touch screen. I don't know if that's actually a possibility, but I might look into it. I'm more interested in the Linux side though, because I'm interested in making an audio streaming center. So it's going to be essentially a radio. I'm not really interested in the screen for something like that. I'm only interested in the board, and it will have physical buttons or something more interesting maybe. So anyway, I just wanted to catch you all up on what I've been doing with it and to show you that it works. It wasn't necessarily the display. It wasn't the bad images that I'd picked up, because actually those bad images do work, so they're not really bad at all. It just was the fact that I had a crappy power supply. Now there have been a couple of images which sort of stopped during the booting process, but that could have been that and when I burned them again onto the SD card, then when I had written them again, it did work. So it could have been the download process. They're big downloads, like they can be up to a gig, so you can get some problems when downloading it and then burning it. So try rewriting them to the SD card if you have problems. Otherwise, plug the serial connection into your computer and see what's going on. That's sometimes the best way. Okay, well, it was only going to be a quick update, so I won't leave it going any longer, but thanks a lot for watching. And if you guys have any experience with the Orange Pi PC or some of its other siblings, I guess there are quite a few of them now, they try to keep up with the Raspberry Pi sort of iterations. So some of them are really a bit more advanced, some of them have Wi-Fi on board. This one was just really cheap. It was like £12 or something, so that's why I picked this one up. And it also has audio out, which is nice. Anyway, thanks a lot. I'll speak to you soon.